Johnny Cage, you have been chosen for Mortal Kombat.
Whoa! I really don't feel comfortable hitting a girl.
Don't worry. You won't.
Yo! Send me back. I want to go back.
Mortal Kombat 2. Hey guys, I'm back from my little vacation, and this is the first film I saw in theaters that just so happens to be the very next video game movie of the year. I reviewed, like, I don't know, 6, 7 of them.
600! Oh my god, so fucking funny!
Wonder if I should count The Backrooms as a video game film. Probably not. But anyway, was this sequel the best video game movie of the year so far? Hell no. Not even close. Exit 8 has this beat by a mile. Mortal Kombat 2, while definitely a step up from the first film, still suffers from a lot of the same issues, from dull characters, wooden acting, and a terribly lackluster story. There is very little that this movie has going for it outside of the actual combat encounters. The fights in this film are the standout moments. They are gory, brutal, and wildly over the top in all of the absolute best ways. There are fatalities, brutalities, some more famous than others, and at least one friendship and fan service galore. It just really sucks that there isn't much else here. There are some improvements, like I mentioned, over the first film that definitely make this sequel the better movie, but there is still more than enough room to improve. Seriously, this can only get better, please. Thankfully, the added love to the fight scenes made it all the better in general. While a few of them are much too short for what they should be, the stages that they are set on and the choreography and overall movement of the combatants is admittedly a lot of fun. There's an excellent fight involving Liu Kang set on a stage that most Mortal Kombat fans will recognize immediately, and that fight I think is as close to perfect as it can possibly be. The stage, the lighting, the combatants, the movements, how it ends, all of it, it's so damn good. I wanted more fights like that, and it's a shame that we don't. But I really adore this one that we got. The others are still good, but this one is the best. Satisfying all around. If only the rest of the movie was like that. But, of course, I'm getting ahead of myself. What is this movie even about? And why did it take so very long to come out? 5 years is a bit crazy. I mean, Mortal Kombat 2 is a direct sequel to the Mortal Kombat movie that released back in 2021. This sequel was originally supposed to be released back in the 2023-2024 window, but the SAG-AFTRA strikes forced a delay in the shooting. When it was finally shot and edited at the very start of 2024. The film was originally slated to release in October of last year, but eventually was pulled from that release window by the studio executives who thought that the fall release of that year was just overly crowded with other blockbusters, so they delayed it until about midway through this year. And yeah, that's right, the sequel has essentially been done and ready to go for nearly 2 years, which is a ridiculous delay, but okay, I'm not a studio exec. Maybe it makes sense to them, but that just feels like a ridiculously long time to be sitting on something. But okay, they're trying to make as many millions as possible, so what do I know? This sequel takes place a little after the events of the first movie. The Mortal Kombat Tournament is finally slated to begin after its absence in the first film. Remember that? There was no Mortal Kombat in Mortal Kombat. You have to wait till the sequel. Anyway, we finally get it here between the heroes of Earthrealm and Shao Khan's forces in Outworld. The two must clash with the winner of the tournament having control over Earthrealm. It's a little more complicated, but that's the gist. In Outworld, Shao Kahn's adopted daughter Kitana must come into her own and decide whether to fight with or against her adopted father. Meanwhile, Earthrealm is down a combatant due to a murder, so Raiden and Sonya recruit former Hollywood star and martial artist Johnny Cage to fight on their side, despite how he doesn't want to and doesn't know anything going on. The film mostly follows Kitana and Johnny as the new combatants while struggling to find things for its surviving characters to do, including Cole Young, the last film's protagonist. He's here. definitely here. His main issues with the first film are literally described away in a side line, but whatever, he's here. My biggest qualm with the last film was that it was just downright boring. Cole was a dull protagonist that didn't offer much outside of being an audience stand-in, so exposition could be explained to him. His powers, when he finally got him, were boring, and while the writers tried to add in some interesting subtext, with him being related to Scorpion and having a girlfriend and a daughter, he just was not written all that well. He was just dull. He was boring. Thankfully, he isn't the focus anymore, but his role in the film is still very obvious and predictable when you see what he's doing. You can probably guess what he eventually does, and it just feels like the writers had no idea what to do with him as a character for the sequel, which, I mean, I guess that's fair. He was a brand new character created for Mortal Kombat itself, so it's just kind of funny they didn't know what to do with him. Honestly though, I personally think it's kind of fine. I'm sure that they might be able to turn him into a different character down the line. Like, I remember hearing rumors that he might become the new Kenshi, the blind swordsman or something, but either way, Johnny Cage as a protagonist is just a ton more engaging as the main character. His quippy one-liners, his terrible attitude, his pop culture references, they're all pretty fun. Not as fun as Kano's, but what can you do? You need at least one quippy person. And while he doesn't have any familial ties like Cole has, that lets him be more of a jackass and bring his personality out better. He doesn't have to be an audience stand-in. The audience knows who Johnny Cage is, and even if they don't, like they're new to the franchise, his introduction tells you everything you need to know, and it's admittedly very funny and very good. The movie works best like that when it isn't taking itself very seriously, which is admittedly a bit of an issue, because it does take itself extremely seriously most of the time. There are fun moments that exist purely for fun, like Uncaged Fury is admittedly hilarious, and anytime Johnny and a certain other character are interacting, it is gold. Even Johnny and Baraka are great together, even if their scenes are essentially filler. Baraka just kinda here. However, too much of this film is dry exposition and dull seriousness. There isn't as much funny, zany moments as I would have liked. Oh no, the MacGuffin is taken. Let's spend 5 minutes explaining why that's bad and how we don't want this very specific thing to happen, only to immediately go, oh no, that very specific thing happened immediately after we said it would. There's no build-up, and the exposition is so clunky and full of nonsense words when the simple, hey, if what's-his-face gets this bad thing will happen. There. It's one line, it's not 20. Instead, we have to go into every little detail. Granted, it is all plot relevant, but I'm not here for every little detail. I'm here for the fights. Get to the fights. The plot is secondary. These are the main attraction, not the plot. The plot is a means to an end. It got to a point where I was getting bored and annoyed every time a fight would end because I knew I'd have to sit through clunky dialogue and acting in order to get to the badass fighting again. Some of the fights were just over way too fast as well. Like, as soon as they feel like they were getting good, they end. But at least they were very stylized and were focused on showing off character movement and each person's specific powers, like Shao Kahn's dash ability, or Kitana's flying fans, or even Sindel's scream. That's awesome. I love all of that. Thankfully, the time in between fights is admittedly pretty brief. It's just annoying that they still happened, but it's frustrating. I think the only poor thing about the fights is that they take a little too much inspiration from real-life wrestling like WWE. I realized it near the end of the film, where there is a hot tag with some of the characters. If you don't know what that is, you will see it immediately in a lot of different media, but it is just so obvious here. A hot tag refers to when a beaten down character tags in a fresh one to shift the momentum in a fight. Typically in WWE and such, this is during tag matches where one fighter is usually crawling on the ground from one side of the cage to get to their corner, dramatically struggling to reach their partner, and they have to get that tag in a big burst of energy. And they kind of recreate that in this movie, and it's just a little too obvious for me. I mean, sure, it's fantastical, it has weird video game powers, but still, it's a very overused trope that I personally feel is better suited for live events rather than film. But that's my opinion. Maybe not everyone can agree with that and can see past it or just not even notice it. Maybe I'm the only one that did. But hey, this is my review, my opinion. So anyway, I do want to give at least a small shout out to some of the actors here. I don't think any of them do a particularly good job of acting, although I blame the dialogue and writing more than I do their acting talent. Like, I know for certain that Karl Urban is a good actor. I've never watched The Boys, but I'm pretty sure he does a great job in there. As Johnny, he's just okay, but again, I think that's the direction and the dialogue's fault, not his. Maybe the wrestler The Miz would have been a better Johnny Cage overall, but hey, he wasn't actually cast. Sorry, maybe next time. The positive I have with the acting is that pretty much everyone is doing a phenomenal job with the actual fighting choreography. It certainly helps when most of them have very specific martial arts film backgrounds. The best main combatant, in my opinion, is Liu Kang, played by Ludi Lin, and he is just so good on screen. Not when he's talking, but when he's fighting. Even with the added fire effects that make Liu Kang, Lin's talent is just all around really well received, and it translates so well on screen. He has some tremendous acrobatics and some seriously great timing in general. It translates so well to the screen, and I'm really looking forward to seeing him in a ton more movies and films going forward. I mean, he already has a prolific acting career. He is an ex-Power Ranger, so I'm sure he'll get plenty more films in the future. I think he works especially well when he's paired off with someone of similar skill like Adeline Rudolph as Kitana. Her acting is it's not great. But again, I don't think that's really her fault. She just isn't given much to do character-wise. So Kitana kind of feels really bland as a character. She's too cliche and dull, but damn if those fans aren't sharp. Sometimes there's even like a bullet time with her fans where they will hover in place while spinning, and combined with Rudolph's controlled movements as Kitana, they fit perfectly. I feel like maybe she even had to slow down some of her movements to let the fans do their buzzsaw thing, which is always really cool to see on screen. But then she also has some really impressive speed and acrobatic control when she's fighting, whether the fans are in her hands or not. And I cannot take that away from her. She's doing a great job. Now then though, I really do not have much to say about the other actors in here. I guess I'll throw in a special shout out to Martin Ford for being a very impressive Shao Khan, but everyone else is just kind of okay. Shao Khan at least is big, intimidating, and feels strong enough to be wielding that massive meat tenderizer. But like I said, the acting is just okay at best and terribly dull at its worst. But I never got bored when Shao Khan is on screen, so I'll definitely give props to Ford for that. I think he did a great job with what he was given, even if he isn't doing the acrobatics that everyone else is. But hey, he's a huge dude. It would look a little weird if he was. Speaking of looking weird, there are a lot of odd moments here and there with the visuals. There is admittedly a lot of CGI used, but that goes without saying. Surprisingly, there's a large amount of practical sets and prosthetics that I'm sure are enhanced with some CG elements, but it is really cool to see them when they appear, and for once it doesn't feel like, I don't know, like how Aquaman 2 did it, where the sets were needlessly gigantic and the space wasn't used effectively whatsoever. Some of these sets actually feel particularly small, so the use of the spaces is really well done, especially for fights, so I'll give props to that. Ultimately though, this movie is rough. The fights are great and an absolute standout, as they should be in any Mortal Kombat movie, but the story is boring, the characters are dull, the plot is terrible, and the exposition is ridiculously clunky. Maybe these will be fixed in the next film, which is actively in development, but it does have the same writer as this movie, so I'm not really holding my breath. I do kind of fear that there are beginning to be too many characters to keep track of, and I do not have confidence that this writer can effectively keep all of these characters in line. But then again, it is a Mortal Kombat film, so I do expect quite a few of them to die in gloriously brutal ways. Hey, give me some animalities next time. I want to see a Liu Kang dragon, please. That being said, I can't really recommend this film unless you are a Mortal Kombat fan or a fan of martial arts in general. The story is nothing. The characters suck, and the time in between the fights, while admittedly is very short, still feels like a bit of a slog. I'd say only see it in theaters if any of that pertains to you, but otherwise this is a fairly safe rental to watch on your own time. Hopefully though, we don't have to wait 5 years for the third film. So ultimately, Mortal Kombat 2 gets a 6 out of 10 from me. Hey guys, thanks for sticking around for another one. Yeah, I'm back from FWA. I'm sorry. It took me a while to get to a theater, and the movie I saw on the plane was terribly boring. I saw Mickey 17. Okay, I'm exaggerating. It wasn't boring. It was just strange. The acting was good, but I feel like as soon as the climax came around, the movie lost track of what it was supposed to be and kind of shifted into a totally different plot. I don't really know what was going on in that final third of that film, so I don't know, maybe I'll review it, probably not. I don't really have too much to say about it, and I'm sure a lot of people like it, but that was a little weird, a little strange. But as for Mortal Kombat, I knew it was going to be at least a little rough. The trailers made it seem like it was taking itself way too seriously, which seems like is gonna be the issue with the Street Fighter movie coming up. It's weird that Mortal Kombat didn't hire a bunch of wrestlers, but it tries to do wrestling tropes like the hot tag. But then you have Street Fighter, which is full of wrestlers. So that's gonna be interesting. Hopefully that one doesn't take itself too seriously. I hate that Noah Centineo is in it. I do not like Noah Centineo, and he's getting all these roles that I don't feel he deserves. He's a Nepo baby. But anyway, that's my personal take. You can love or hate Noah Centineo. I can dislike him, but anyway, Mortal Kombat's still fun. It's not as good a video game movie as Exit 8. We've definitely had a lot of better video game movies this year. Still got a ton more to go. I am very tired, but anyway, I'll keep these going. What did you guys think of Mortal Kombat? Did you see it? Did you think it was interesting or dumb or stupid? Let me know in the comments below. After that, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, ring that bell so you don't miss a video. And yeah, that's it. Have a great day, and if you're not, have a better one. See ya.
I'm just a ghost in your stereo. The fading memory of a shipwreck in the undertow. You're just a lost song I know. And I'm just a ghost in your stereo.